So we are replacing all of this with just this. When I meet people who have been camping extensively for like 20 to 30 years, I find they all have one thing in common: multi-use camping gear. So today I'm going to help you to decrease that extra camping gear you're hauling around by sharing with you some neat dual-purpose camping gear that you probably have never seen before. If this is your standard 125 watt panel, why is this 200 watt panel not double the size? That's why. Unlike 90% of the modern panels, this is more like my favorite old school panel, which is the 3-panel design. This is 100 watts, this is 125 watts. So that's how they're able to get 200 watts in such a small suitcase. Now the next part of this is around chasing the sun. Standard design of the stands. What are you seeing here? How many angles to the sun? You've got one angle and one angle only. So wherever the sun's at, if you are going to tilt it with it, you're going to have to lean it on things and find ways to hold it up. So angles here obviously are not unlimited, but you have 20 degrees all the way up to about 70. And from there I can loosen it and do every angle all the way in between until almost a flat lay here. This is pretty neat too. This is to help you get optimal sun efficiency. So when the sun hits this, there'll be a little red dot that hits this black dot. And when they're lined up, you know you're getting the most efficient angle of the sun. All right, back to the tree to show you why this is a multi-use camping tool. So you just open it up like a regular solar panel, but quickly it just attaches at the front, the Velcro seals. You flip this top up, and now with the tightening of these sides, this table can support 66 pounds. Now, I thought it was gimmicky at first. I thought, why would you use this? But we've been using it all over camp. It truly does hold the weight as long as it's over this triangle. But you just tighten down these two sides, and this thing is sturdy. So who is this for? To me, I think it's for my family back in the day when we had just the 4-cylinder car, the 4x8 teardrop, and space was very limited. And so taking a big table was never an option for us. We used these tiny little tables. So you would take this out. The only issue is when you're using the table, you can't capture the sun. But at 200 watts of solar, you're going to capture the sun twice as fast as you do on a typical panel. So I think it's a win-win for a lot of people. Another kind of neat thing is this has zippers on it, so it can be expanded. The more panels you have, the larger your table will be. I think this would be a great example of expanding the table. And zipper up. We've been using this one on this side of our stove, and then this one has been going on the other side. So there it is. This is the configuration that's been working for us. So on to the next multifunctional camping tool. So I was watching Birdfish's channel on YouTube quite a while back, and I saw he had this boiling kettle that was made of glass. So I thought for you guys, I would find a kettle that has low watts and is glass. You know, the majority of kettles out there are 1,000 watts or more. Most of us, probably you, have a 300 watt or less power station. Any of the smaller to mid-size power stations do not have a strong wattage output. So what this is the mini kettle cooker from Bideen. This is a 300 watt kettle. So due to this low wattage, it takes 10 minutes to boil. And what this does is it eliminates my need for a stove in my camper. I used to have this tiny little stove that I would bring out just to make a cup of coffee before I head outside into the cold. And what this meant is to vent this stove, I had to open up more windows. And what does this do? It introduces cold air into the camper. So having this kettle there in the morning is safer. It's running off my power station or your inverter, and it's getting me my boiling water in the morning for coffee. And then the rest of the water I put in a canteen for the day to use for dishwashing to get hard stuck-on items off. So what's funny about this thing is it doesn't stop at boiling water. It actually wasn't even designed to boil water, and I think that's why it was so hard for me to find it. It comes with a recipe book from teas to mulled wine to soups and oatmeals and porridges. Basically, if it's a slow cooked meal or a slow cooked method, then this probably can handle it. Coming from Thailand this year, we tested it out making bubble tea. It makes tea in a breeze. It's just, you just throw in the bags, throw in the boba, and boom, we're done. We've also been making basic things like soup, porridge, oatmeal. Super easy, super small, and another dual use of this is they put a handle on it to reduce the amount of dishes you use. So basically you can drink out of it, you can eat out of this without using a separate dish and doing extra dishes at the campsite. The only issue I have with it, it's not an issue at the house, but it's more of an issue at the campsite, is that food tends to get trapped on the edges of the burner. So this means just using a little bit more water to clean it in the field and scraping that edge. Not a big deal, but something, I need to point out. And as you may have noticed, there's a really nice carrying case you can get to protect this German glass when camping. And like I said, it's portable. It's definitely not a budget item though. Check out their website. I think you will quickly understand who they are marketing this towards. Their products are high end, they're visually appealing, definitely more of a niche market for people who take food seriously. It's so low it won't even read. So we are replacing all of this with just this. So 20 PSI took about 11 minutes. Now I'm wondering from 20 to 40, is it going to double the time because of the pressure? I'll get right back to you. So 3 uses: flashlight, lithium for recharging batteries, and it's a big one because it's big enough to fill a tire, and then obviously emergency backup for when you need to put a tire plug in or seal a tire up and just get back to a station, and then filling boats and toys and things like that. So I wanted this to be my everything inflation tool, and it's obviously not. Look how small it is, fits in the palm of my hand. I did multiple runs with this. This last run that I filmed, 80% charged up on here. That got me 30 PSI on this tire from 0, somewhere between 0 and 3 PSI. I was having trouble getting it to read, but my thumb was definitely pressing in. If I went a little bit longer, I can fill a whole tire on this, but I think I'll still be bringing this with me to fill multiple tires, to feel more comfortable, especially if I'm bringing a power station. Why not? This isn't a whole lot more. What would I use this for? Well, for one thing, the gimmicky flashlight that comes with all of these, it actually makes sense on this. Being as small as it is, unlike the flashlights on things like this, how often are you going to carry this in the woods or to the bathroom? This one actually makes sense. The power station, though, is what I'll primarily be using this for. This will sit in the car as a backup to top off a tire if I have to plug it, if I have to seal it. But mainly this is going to be topping off phones and other batteries that I can charge with USB. So who's this for? I think this is for the minimalist. This is for the guy who's not carrying all this stuff like me. The guy who needs a backup system for a tire going out in the field, or needs to just top off their batteries.
Unlimited fairy lights.
I'm a big fan of multi-use camping lanterns, and the first lantern's the one from BioLite that you see often on this channel. It has an array of colors. I use the red to keep the bugs down, but it also has a white light, daylight mode, and a warm light. And it functions as a power bank. That's the beauty of these. The lights actually last longer in the field than a typical rechargeable light because they're designed to also power your phones. Basically, you can charge anything off this that uses a USB for charging. But the problem here is that BioLite is no longer making this light. Now, I highlighted it here because you can buy it all over the internet still, but I thought I needed to find you some new lanterns that I think are great replacements, maybe even upgrades for this lantern. Of all my new gadgets, this next one was the one that impressed me most. Not just in terms of output and multi-usability. I don't know, is that even a term? So my family just bought the JBL Flip 6, which is the little portable Bluetooth speaker. It has great sound quality, but $130 is quite a lot. Well, with this lantern, I found the sound quality must be designed to emulate the same sound as the JBL Flip 6.
fed up with changes. Come pick me up cause I just wanna see the light.
So basically a sound that I can play all day long and it doesn't bother my ears. But you're getting this lantern and this power bank and this beautiful speaker at maybe $20 more than that JBL Flip 6. So this one device now is meeting my lantern needs, my top off needs, and replacing the speaker for the projector in the woods. The next lantern has two functions is all, but it's the retro aesthetic that I really love about it. So it does the white light, it does the amber colored light, it has a power bank in it so you can charge your phones, but I just like the look of it, the size of it, how it feels in your hand. I think it's a great companion for travel.
I see you, I see you, I see you.
This is quite nerdy of me. Many of you are going to say this is not camping. And for me, I'm out here so much. I do require my laptop. I do edit these videos on it. But I would like a setup like home, like a dual monitor system. So I looked online and I found out they make portable external monitors. Just thin little guys that shove right inside a drawer in your camper. And it's just simple. In reality, I could just leave this laptop at home and just run it off my phone. For those of you with a Nintendo Switch or just needing to watch videos or something on a rainy day, I think this would be a great replacement for a projector, a screen, a computer. Hook this up to anything that plays videos and you're good to go. 2 USB-C ports on the side, an HDMI port, fully customizable colors and contrast and all that. So it runs off the power of your powered device, or you can run it off a wall charger or your power station if your device doesn't have power like a USB-C port. So color's right. The only issue is you'll see in this video, there's a big glare on this. Anytime you get a cheap monitor, you're going to get a glare. So it's going to be best in your trailer, in the shade. You're not going to get that matte finish, but it definitely gets the job done. Speaking of getting the job done, you're going to want to go to this playlist next. This is all the gear we use in the field to help us have a more simple and gratifying camping experience, the good and the bad, just to help you make a decision on what fits your camping style best. Thanks as usual for sticking around. Stay safe on the road, and we'll see you in the next episode.